Reaching up, screaming out from the ground. They can't stop us now. They can't stop us now. Raise my head in the morning, but tonight I'm gonna find a way.
No, I really appreciate you driving, Mom. Yeah, no, the dance gets over at 11, so if you could come like 11:15 and go around the corner where the other kids don't see me, that would be really cool. Okay. No, I love you too, Mom. No, I'm not giving you a kiss. No, I gotta go. Hey, good evening. Welcome out to another edition of the Greg Tish Show, which is good because my name is Greg Tish. Tonight, we have left Fifth Avenue Tap Room, and we are at Po' Boy's downtown, where we are going to try one of the best burgers you will ever have. And we're going to pair that with our beer of the week, Sierra Nevada. I sit down and I talk with Woody Hayes. Eric's gone, Marsha's gone, Alicia's gone. I'm just kind of sitting here and... Oh, Eric is back? But my producer just interrupted me to say that Eric is back, so... just go to bed now. Eric Eggers is back. There's no point in staying up. We'll see you later. Why do you guys not tell me this stuff when, you know, it's going on? That I need to know if Eric's back. We rolling? Good. Hey, Eric Eggers is back. I'm so excited. Next week, or actually tomorrow, school starts back. So hopefully all the kids are in bed and they're ready to catch those school buses in the morning. Right now, let's find out more about our beer of the week, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
In 1978, American beer changed forever with the legalization of home brewing, allowing people to brew up to 200 gallons of beer in their own home every year. One person that was so taken from the home brewing process was Ken Grossman, who opened his own store, which became so popular that he spawned it into a brewery 2 years later in 1980. His flagship beer was a pale ale, a very sort of light-bodied, but with a generous dose of hops the American public wasn't used to at that time. He named his beer after the mountains around him, the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And 30 years later, it still stands as a testament to how great and unique the beer was. You'll find it everywhere because it's just good. The thing about the Pale Ale, though, is that it inspired so many people to think outside of the box. American light lagers ruled the day, and to taste something that actually had a malty presence and a big hop finish was just unprecedented. It spawned so much creativity in other people who then went home, brewed on their own, tried to make their own beer, and found it to be amazing. And ultimately, the possibilities of where those flavors could go inspired many others to take up the craft, brew in their homes, and ultimately open breweries around the country. At the beginning of the 20th century, before Prohibition, there were thousands and thousands of breweries. In the 50s and 60s and 70s, it had gotten down to tens of breweries. Everything was stagnant, everything was the same, and this is the beer that shook it up. This is the beer that changed everything. And the beauty is, you can drink it today. It's a little slice of history. It stands up. If it was released today, as opposed to released in 1980, it would still be called a great beer, and it still is a great beer. It's a great beer, especially in the summertime, to sip as it gets a little bit warm outside. It's got a light amber body to it, and just enough malt in the backbone to stand up to this like little floral cascade hop that you get on it. It's in cans now, as well as bottles, so it's perfect for taking out on a camping trip or a rafting trip. It's just so well done. It's so freaking perfect of a beer that I totally nerd out over it. It needs to be experienced, and hopefully you can appreciate what it has done for having so many beers available to everyone in the country now.
The founders of America's three biggest pizza companies come from the Midwest. The founder of Marco's Pizza is also from the Midwest. Of Italy. Marco's, authentic Italian pizza.
Hey, we've got the Greg Tish Show app coming up very, very shortly. We're just waiting on approval for Apple. But if you'd like to watch all the past episodes of the Greg Tish Show, YouTube. Search The Greg Tish Show. That simple. No, it was an 81 Firebird. You remember it?
I do remember the Firebird. It was like GT and the Bandit. I always wanted to be that guy.
We nicknamed it the Snowbird.
Yeah?
Oh my God, I would love to have that car back. Just, oh.
Well, I was driving around a little blue Ford Ranger, so, you know. Well, my dad gave it to me. It was free. I didn't pay for it, and then I wrecked it.
Now tell me about how you got involved in radio, because I know we have very similar, I mean, our paths are kind of parallel, except people like you, but we have parallel paths. But how did you get involved in radio?
Well, people like me. People love you. So that's where you're on top of the game there. So for me, it's very easy. Grand opening of the Governor's Square Mall, 1979. There was a DJ in the food court, and that's back when they used to have the fashion shows. They would put the stage out over the water and everything. And I remember going in there with my mom, and there was just this party going on in the food court.
1979, would that be John Summers?
No, it was not John Summers, actually. It was Rick Waddell.
No clue.
And I just remember this guy, he's playing music and people are coming up and talking to him and he's handing out all these prizes and just, the guy was having the time of his life. And I remember getting in the car with my mom, I said, Mom, remember the guy in the food court? That's what I want to do. And I remember just recording songs with a little handheld cassette player, you know, and making my own remixes and stuff like that. And I would talk over the front of songs. So it's really something I've always wanted to do. And I owe it all to the grand opening of Governor's Square Mall.
Now, with TNT, was that your first radio gig? Or?
No, actually, my very first radio gig was with a station. It was Hot 101.5. Of course, nowadays you can own more than one radio station. Right. Back in the day, when I started, you could only have one station per owner. And I remember I was working at V89 at Florida State, and I just wanted to get into radio. So I was working there for credit, you know, course credit, and I went over to Hot 101.5. There was a guy there named Miami Mike. Never forget him. He was just awesome. And I said, look, man, I'll do anything. Do you have an internship, anything? So I came there and he would kind of tutor me, showed me how to run the board, and within 6 months I was doing an overnight slot just on the weekend. It was just the worst graveyard shift ever. But I went from that to doing my own night show. I worked at several stations here in town, but by far TNT has been my longest run, fixing to enter my 12th year with TNT. So,
April Crowley,
yeah,
radio legend here in town. She gave me my first break and told the general manager at Sunny 107 to hire me for overnights,
which used to be in the building where I'm at.
Building, we were right across, yeah. And so I would go in there, and then if you've never worked a graveyard shift, it is one of the worst things, especially in radio, because you get calls at 2 o'clock in the morning with everybody going home, and they're like, hey, can you play this song?
You know the old song, The Freaks Come Out at Night? That overnight for sure. Absolutely.
5 o'clock in the morning, it's god-awful. God-awful. You're sitting there. But I learned a lot about music.
Yeah.
So you progressed. You got the radio gig 12 years. And then tell me about your little singing career you got going on. Because I didn't know you could sing until a couple of years ago.
Well, I don't see it as a career now. The guy that I sing with, Boyd Mangum, one of the most talented musicians and singers that I've ever been able to be around, and he started singing at Bike Night at Hooters. And they wanted some acoustic entertainment, and so I would go up and I would sing a song with him, and it turned into 3 or 4 songs, turned into a set to all night long. And he goes, dude, we can make money, me and you doing this. And so we've been doing it now for 2 or 3 years, and I mean, we've really had some fun doing it. We travel throughout the Panhandle. We've obviously been very blessed to open up for people like Jake Owen, Blues Traveler, and several other names, and usually you can catch us around town, but now we're looking to expand the band. We're going to be putting together an absolutely rock and country and southern rock full band, and that should be coming up here in the next few months, so look out for the Boyd and Wood Band.
All right, so 3.5 years ago, Florida State puts out a thing online. They're looking for a new stadium announcer.
Yep.
how do you get involved with that? Does somebody nominate you, and then you found out that you were involved? Because there was about 5 guys that were up.
Four guys, yep. We
If you
each
didn't
got
know,
a quarter.
Woody is the voice of Doak Campbell Stadium, that every time you hear first down, you actually don't say Florida State, you just say, and that's
I
good
let
for
the
our
crowd do it
Seminoles.
because that's what it's all about.
This is the man that you're listening to. So now you have a visual, but please still go to the games. We're actually going to give out Murray State tickets in just a little bit.
Sorry for the disappointment, everybody. You know, for me, you know, doing the football thing, really an honor for me to be a part of a program like Florida State. But it all started for me with Monk Bonasort, and he asked me about 15 years ago, would you like to be a public address announcer for the arena football team? And I thought to myself, cool, I get paid, I get a good seat to the game, I get to watch the game and make money. So, you know, I took him up on that. That led to being the public address announcer for Florida State basketball, entering my 12th season of that. And yeah.
I have an autograph personalized to me.
Yes,
I got
you
it at the
do.
Duke game 2 years ago where we beat Duke. And then I got a personal autograph.
Because that's how we roll.
It's still in my truck. It's in my Hummer. It's in the console.
Well, football came along, basically, I think it was just an offshoot of the basketball job. So I was doing the internal PA for about 3 years for all the sports writers, basically doing play-by-play in-house for them, so their stories were correct. They had all the right information when they're writing their stories throughout the game. And when this came about, Mr. Nick, who had been the voice of Doak Campbell Stadium for 25 years, retired.
Yeah. Great.
And
I've had so many memories with his voice.
Nick is just a class act. And so it was me and 3 other guys auditioning for the thing. And once it was over, FSU kind of had their input on it. But they also put it to a vote on online. And I just so happened to be the lucky one that everybody voted for.
Nice. Now, first game. All right, we're going to do a little trivia right here. We got Big Woody Hayes, the voice of Seminole basketball at the Civic Center, the voice of Doak Campbell Stadium, TNT every day. What's your shift on TNT? You're on just basically all day.
Afternoons, 3 to 7.
Afternoons 3 to 7 on your afternoon drive.
That's right.
We're going to do a little trivia right here. Florida State plays, in their first football game, they play who?
Murray State.
Murray State. Do you know the mascot of Murray State without saying it?
I do.
You do? I do too.
I cheated because somebody told me earlier.
Oh, well, we want to know what is the mascot of Murray State. The first person to go to our Facebook page, The Greg Tish Show on Facebook, and you tell us the name of the Murray State mascot, you are going to the Murray State game.
I think that's fairly easy.
As a matter of fact, the first 2 people will give you 2 tickets. So we're going to give away 4 tickets. The first 2 people to give the answers, well, obviously the second person's just going to copy the first person.
Well, and you know, it is the age of Google, so it shouldn't be very hard to find.
It shouldn't be. Woody, thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
What is specialty coffee? Specialty coffee is what I'm about. It's me, striving to make that perfect cup, that perfect shot, finding the unique flavors, unique aromas.
What is specialty coffee? It's me. It's hard work. It takes lots of practice.
Great coffee doesn't just happen. Hey!
The founders of America's 3 biggest pizza companies are named Tom, Frank, and John. But Marco's Pizza has a founder named Pasquale, who was actually born in Italy. Marco's, authentic Italian pizza.
Hi, I'm Big Woody Hayes from 94.9 TNT, and you're watching Fox 49, home of the Greg Tish Show.
Hi, I'm Sarah Duncan, and today on Taste of the Town, we're at Po' Boy's Creole Cafe right here in downtown Tallahassee. There are a lot of burgers in town, but there's only one Voodoo burger. Join us today to find out what makes this so special. with John Swede, the man behind the Voodoo Burger and the Po' Boys' success here. He's going to be teaching us a little bit about the Voodoo Burger and how they prepare it.
Well, we've got 10 ounces of Angus beef that we start off with. When we decided we're going to come up with the Voodoo Burger, we said we're just not going to be a normal hamburger place. We're going to come up with something that's special. So we said we're going to make it big and we're going to make it bad. So we came up with the Voodoo Burgers. We have mudbug burgers, which are a remoulade sauce with fried crawfish on top. And what we're making here is our Voodoo Burger, which is going to have cheddar cheese, our barbecue sauce with a little bit of tang, a little bit of twang to it, and some great jalapenos, marinated jalapenos.
Where did you come up with the name for the Voodoo Burgers?
Well,
Is it to do with the New Orleans theme?
absolutely. Come on, the New Orleans thing and the Voodoo Burger. You know, it's just, voodoo's such a great name in New Orleans. You know, it has a lot of connotation, certainly the mystery of it all. And this is kind of like a mystery sandwich, you know, it's just big. It's got a lot of bold flavors to it, and it certainly is delicious. So the Voodoo Burger just seemed to fit perfect for us.
That does sound great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this burger.
Oh, it'll be delicious when she's done.
So tell me a little about Po' Boys. Has been a legend in Tallahassee for quite some time, and from what I understand, the burger was not always a part of that menu.
It certainly wasn't. You know, we started in 1992, and we are fashioned after the New Orleans style po' boy, which was created in New Orleans, and it was made for the trolley workers that were on strike. They had no money. The French restaurant made cheap sandwiches for the poor boys. So they call it the po' boy sandwich. It took the city by storm. The Italians, which are very diverse in origin, they kind of got a little upset, and they said, we got to come up with something. So they came up with a muffalata, and that's how the different sandwiches were created in New Orleans. Well, we said, you know what, New Orleans, no one's ever done a New Orleans style restaurant in the country really on a fast casual environment. We said we can give this a shot. So we created our business plan on Siesta Key Beach and moved up to Tallahassee in 1992 and opened up our first store in a little 1,000 square foot shop. It was a great little place across from Ken's and Yanni's. We served, you know, shrimp and oyster po' boys and blackened chicken po' boys, and that was our staples. Well, then as we learned and grew and realized what other people wanted, we kind of tailored a few things that would mesh a little bit with the public. We still are probably our number one sandwich is the shrimp or the oyster po' boy. Well, then we came up with the buffalo chicken po' boy. And as you know, you go anywhere now, everybody has a buffalo chicken sandwich. There's only one place that created the buffalo chicken sandwich, and that's right here at Po' Boys. We came up with that 12 years ago, and we're very proud of the fact that the buffalo chicken sandwich was created here at Tallahassee, Florida at Po' Boys. Everybody likes to make a buffalo chicken sandwich, but if you're gonna follow the leader, you ought to do it exactly as is. Why put lettuce and tomato on a buffalo chicken sandwich? Make it just the way it's supposed to be, delicious. So that's where New Orleans or Po' Boys came from. Been a little diverse, had a little fun with it. And the Voodoo Burger, you know, we didn't have burgers on the menu up until about 7 years ago. We thought, you know, we want to stay away from what the mainstream does. But eventually we said, you know what, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it, once again, we're going to do it big and bold. And so that's where we came up with the Voodoo Burgers.
We've finished making the burger, and I'm going to get to sample it, which I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of good flavors in this. It's also going to go well with our beer of the week, the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Hi, thank you so much. Looks great. And we're also it's also paired with a side of the fries here. And this is how they traditionally serve it, is with the knife in the middle, so everyone knows that you've just ordered a Voodoo Burger made specially here at Po' Boys. Well, this has been a great day here on Taste of the Town. Again, I'm Sarah Duncan, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to finish the rest of this burger.
The founders of America's 3 biggest pizza companies come from the Midwest. The founder of Marco's Pizza is also from the Midwest. Of Italy. Marco's, authentic Italian pizza.
When we need help, we know that we have a partner to get us through the tough times. The Capital Area Community Action Agency provides emergency services and assistance to struggling families. Big Bend families have benefited from business startup, on-the-job training programs, and so much more.
The agency made all the difference.
Providing long-term solutions for those in need. The Capital Area Community Action Agency, your partner, our community lifeline.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Eric Eggers, and happy to be joined by Dan Krasner of Integrity Florida. Integrity Florida is a new group that's starting up and making quite an impact both locally and around the state, notably for upsetting powerful people. You see, they actually have the temerity at Integrity Florida to demand that legislative and governing bodies actually conduct themselves with integrity. We're going to find out about that crazy idea and just some of the more egregious examples of maybe how things that we pay for out of our tax dollars aren't going to the best interest of the people that actually provide the money for it. So just really fun stuff, but got to start with Dan. First of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Eric. Great to be here.
I like to think of Integrity Florida, this watchdog group. You guys are sort of like the parents, right? You guys have been gone for a long time. The legislature has been having a party. There's naked people in the pool. And then you guys come home and it's like, wait a minute, I don't even know any Mexican people. How'd they all get here, right? That kind of thing.
Well, Integrity Florida is a new government watchdog group. We're a nonpartisan, nonprofit research institute. Our mission is to promote integrity in government and to expose public corruption. One thing we're trying to remind your viewers about is, hey, we're the boss. Those in government, those running for office this year, they're going through a job interview. They work for us. They're spending our money. So it is like we've kind of been that absent parent. We forgot that these people work for us, and it's time for us to kind of tighten up the job description or put our employees that aren't doing what we would like them to do on probation. Maybe we want to monitor their emails or their spending, as you would. And Governor Scott has started that with Project Sunburst, and CFO Jeff Atwater started that with Transparency Florida, putting the spending online. Those are good steps for more open, transparent government.
You guys released a report a couple weeks ago that I thought contained just examples of behavior that in Tallahassee, Tallahassee is to the state of Florida maybe what Washington, D.C. is to the rest of the country, right? Like there's stuff that we see here, like, yeah, that's just the way you do business. And the rest of the state's like, what? So, for example, I thought one of the things that was really interesting in your report, there are legislators that actually are paid by, and this is legal,
right?
But there are legislators that are paid by lobbyists, people whose job it is to try to influence the legislature. I can't think of any more fun way to try to influence a legislator than actually hire them, but that happens.
It does. I mean, at the state government level, the conflicts of interest are just nonstop. They're almost encouraged based on the rules. The rules are different in Tallahassee for our state lawmakers than they are even for local government. So a legislator can work for a lobbying firm. We found 11 on the payroll of lobbying firms this past session. If they have conflicts of interest, they have up to 15 days after the vote to declare it, as opposed to local government declaring conflicts before a vote, and in some cases not voting when you have a conflict. In the legislature, you can vote for conflicts all day long. So bottom line, voters in 1976 passed the Sunshine Amendment, and it said we want to see the private financial interests of all of our policymakers, state and local. And that's a good thing, but it hasn't been online. So Integrity Florida put over 600 documents at integrityflorida.org, so you actually can see that information. It's a tool for us to hold our government accountable, to see their private financial interests, to see if your lawmaker works for a lobbying firm, or if they're getting gifts, or if they have conflicts. We posted all that on integrityflorida.org for you to see and to hold folks accountable.
It's funny because the law actually prevents, if you are an organization that has business, like if you're a legislator and I'm a lobbyist, I can't actually get you a gift, right? Like there's laws against that, but I could hire you.
Yeah.
Is that what they call a loophole?
Oh, there are tons of loopholes. I mean, every restaurant and bar in Tallahassee could become a research foundation and then keep the gifts flowing. That's one way around the gift ban. That's
not a bad idea.
That's what we found in our recent report is more than $100,000 worth of gifts have been given to lawmakers and top state officials this year. But they're running all the money through research foundations for the most part. They're flying our lawmakers to Taiwan and South Africa. They're giving out cigars. There's a lawmaker that had his neighbor mowed his yard. Representative Larry Metz reported that, and good for him for doing that. That's one thing you'll see in our reports. We name some names. We demonstrate those that have conflicts, those that have outside income, even from lobbying firms. But the ones that are disclosing it, I actually give them credit for doing so, being open and honest about it. I imagine there are other policymakers that are getting gifts that have conflicts and they're not telling us about it. I would say to live in Florida, to live in Tallahassee, we're all paying a corruption tax. And you see that on your power bill, your property insurance bill, now the auto insurance bill that was supposed to lower rates may not lower rates. So I mean, there's all this talk at the Capitol about things that are going to help us out, and then it ends up just helping out the companies that are lobbying for the bills.
Well, explain that, because my wife actually pays the bills, but when I have looked at them, I haven't actually seen. I see lots of different lines like trash, sewer. I haven't seen corruption there.
Yeah, you won't see it specifically laid out there, but...
So you're lying.
No.
So you're not acting with integrity.
It's a hidden tax.
Gotcha. See, this is where we can switch places.
No, it's a hidden tax. So, our state budget's $70 billion, and about $50 billion of that goes to private vendors, nonprofit and for-profit companies. And that's a whole lot of money. And if the top vendors that are lobbying and spending the campaign money to get those contracts are not the most qualified or not providing the best value for our dollar, that's increasing the cost of government. That, according to the 19th grand jury that did a report on it, they called it the Florida corruption tax. That's what Integrity Florida wants to see repealed by getting to a more open and accountable government. We're number one in the world for our sunshine, but it's time for Florida to be number one in the world for government in the sunshine again, and ethical and accountable government.
I see what you did there. Clearly a man with a marketing background. If people want to find out more about Integrity Florida, give you information, write you a check, I'm sure you'd be okay with either of those.
Absolutely.
How can they find out more about Integrity Florida?
Take a look at our website. It's integrityflorida.org, or follow us on Twitter at @IntegrityFL. We'd love to have your feedback. Take a look at our research reports, send them to your policymakers, and let us know what you hear.
That's Dan Krasner with Integrity Florida. We all want to encourage a life of integrity here on the Greg Tish Show. And you know what? We have a list of things that maybe in the future we'll go over certain scenarios with Dan, like things that are, things that you should do, things that you shouldn't do. But Dan Krasner, great to have you here. So thanks very much for coming by.
Thank you, Eric. I'll bring my red flag for that scenario planning that you're talking about.
Oh, Sunday night, it's about 11:27.
Getting late.
A couple minutes. It might be 11:20. It depends on how much context we have on here and content we have on the show. Everybody's gone this week. I mean, it's been me, and we had to bring in Sarah Duncan from the Junior League of Tallahassee. Sarah, you did a great job. I love you. Junior League of Tallahassee, all the ladies, I love you. You're amazing. Your cookbooks, your Jingle Jubilee.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you actually do that, but just love it.
Well, and so you brought the amateur co-host in with me, so I'm just doing my best to learn from you.
Whatever. Woody, thank you so much for sticking around tonight.
Thank you, man. Love you,
everybody,
brother.
we will see you next week. Same beer time, same beer channel. My name's Greg Tish. Greg Tish Show.
They can't stop us now. They can't stop us now. Raise my head in the morning, lift up and see an empty space. Man, the dreams, they all went the same, but tonight I'm gonna find a way.